In this video, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the different options Alias provides you with and how you could create blends or transitions between different sets of curves. In our first example, as you can see, we have two lines that touch each other. So this might be probably a good example for using the fillet tool. So now we have a radial fillet or transition between those two lines. In our second example, we have two lines that do not touch each other. And I don't really want to reposition my CVs, so I could create a fillet. So in this case, I could actually create a blend, and you have the blend inside the curve tool. So I click on the toolbox, and then Alias opens the toolbox for me. And the first icon, that is a create blend curve. If you click it, you can click on a line, hold your left mouse button pressed, and then you see a start marker. And I can push this one to the right edge, and then I click on my second curve and push that marker up to the other edge and release my mouse. And this right now is actually a degree 3 blend. And you might notice that actually this is nice and circular. This is a little bit more boxy. However, this one has G1 tangency, so we have continuity, but the highlight will break where those fillets stop. And this one is a little bit more boxy or squeezed because actually it continues that surface before it arcs over and then blends into the next line. So the edge rounding is not kind of like geometrically perfect in terms of a perfect circle, but the highlight at those start and end points will not break. So that's actually a more desirable result. A second approach instead of using a blend with the blend tool is actually to create a curve and then line it up. So I could use an EP curve and I create a curve by snapping to the endpoint. Currently this is a degree 3. And then I could go to Object Edit, go to Align, double click it, and then inside the Align option you see you have continuity, and you can select between G0, G1 and G2. Because I only have 4 CV points, I can only use G1 tangency at the moment. And then to use the Align tool, you click the curve you would like to align, so this edge, and then you click a curve you would like it to align to, so this curve. And you can do then the same with the other end. For example, this end of that curve align to this curve. And then you have small blue markers, and you see that with this blue marker I'm actually adjusting that edit point, that curve point, the control vertex. And this way can maybe by hand adjust a little bit how I would like that tangency blend kind of like to flow. But let's say I would like to, instead of having a G1, I would like to have a G2 continuity. So I could create again a curve using the EP tool, but this time I'm going to switch the degree to 5. Actually, hold on. Let's try it out with 4. Now we need 5. Click Accept. And then we can go back to the Align tool, switch to G2, click the beginning, click Align, click the other beginning or the end, click Align, click Accept. And there, like G2 curvature implies, you have two control vertices that are following the original curvature actually of the line. It's basically a line 2. So if, for example, I select this CV and go into the move mode, you see how then the align tool is updating my CVs. So this is, for example, a different approach than using the blend or the radial by just creating a curve and then you align that curve with it. And the difference between those kind of like approaches, for example, if we go into the shaded mode, from this standpoint, everything looks somewhat okay. But if you pay close attention, let's say we zoom into the fillet and the blend, you can see that the shading here is slightly different on the fillet surface than on the blend surface. And if we go into this mode, you will see that, for example, here the highlight clearly breaks, and here the highlight is actually nice and soft. And here this is a G1 and a G2 blend by using the align tool. Now we can see that the G1 is not as good as, for example, as the G2. And this becomes even more visible if we go into the zebra mode, where you see that those lines nicely flow over, and here basically they break. And then here again, the align tool with a G1 tangency and a G2 tangency. So to sum this basically up, the fillet tool creates a logical and proper transition between two lines. However, it only provides you with G1 continuity, and that is not really visually desirable. So what you rather want to use is something that has a G2 or a higher degree. And then for that, for example, you can use the blend tool, or you can create a custom curve and then use the align tool to create a custom transition.